My name is Tavares Strachan, conceptual artist, and welcome to my home in Bain Town, Nassau, Bahamas. One of the things for me is actually standing on this porch. There's always this question about trying to get out, right? Like how do you get away from the struggle that you exist within? Even though you're learning from the struggle, how do you get out of the struggle? And so for me, so much of the experiences that I had growing up here convinced me that in order for me to get closer to this place, I had to get away from this place. And so all the astronaut training, the cosmonaut training, going to the North Pole, all my interest in exploration was kind of rooted in this neighborhood right here. This fella taught me how to paint. He started showing me how to blend the colors and move the colors around. But the story that you don't know, that we don't talk about, is we learned how to paint because just to make money in high school we used to paint houses for money. So all the painting techniques that I use actually comes from the house paint technique. When I think about painting, I think about the kind of paints that one needs to cover buildings in a climate that's humid, that's brutally hot, that's almost like desert-like conditions. The paint moves in a certain way, and the imagery, a lot of my imagery comes from music. It comes from my experiences from being home. It comes from my childhood. And that combination of technique from learning how to paint from various friends and the techniques from painting at school created the images that you see in the paintings today.
Tavares. So growing up, Tavares lived right there, and I lived right here. Growing up, I think the most fondest memory is when the lady across the street calls us just to get a beating out this world. But okay, so we shooting marbles, right? And of course, if you run out of marbles, you gotta either run to the store, and if the store ain't got no marbles, this is summertime. Store ain't got no marbles. We decided we come up with this thing. Okay, put quarter in the ring, and if I hit it 5 times, then it's mine. Well, the adults interpret that as gambling. And so she tell my granddaddy, boy, I know that's one of the most fondest memories, besides all of the climbing the tree and all the other stuff that we got into, but I never forget that day. I think it would have to be the work with ice. I think that, because he didn't tell me directly himself that, oh, I'm about to take this trip to Antarctic. But when I realized that this boy from Bain Town went to the Arctic, got a piece of ice to sculpture, boy, I ain't gonna lie, I probably cried. I was like, wow, boy, we made it.
Now, everybody always asks me how I moved ice from the Arctic Circle to the Bahamas. And my reply is simply FedEx. It traveled with all of the packages that come via FedEx, parcels, pairs of shoes. But what we did was we built a cryogenic freezer for it. So you know the freezers they put organs in? And in 2 days, the piece moved from the Arctic to Nassau. And that's the story of the Arctic ice work, called the distance between what we have and what we want. There's a pattern that you see in neighborhoods like this, where the resources are so limited, so much creativity comes out of these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that is?
But you just said it. It's just not having. You're trying to find a way. I mean, you remember us when we were in the Gentlemen's Club. You know, we got in the Gentlemen's Club. We were trying to, fit in or be a part of something more. Like you said, we were always trying to find a way out. And we were in the Gentlemen's Club, and we didn't have, we couldn't, with the Blairs and all the rich guys who were in the Gentlemen's Club. And so we had maybe 4 neckties in between us. He wear one day, and then I wear that color with a different shirt the next day, and I wear the color different shirt the next day. And we get creative. You wear it with different punts. That's what the neighborhood is. That's what it taught us.
We had such limited access that whatever scraps we were getting, like I remember one year we had this Christmas we had like this job, photographing people at the hotel.
At the hotel.
But like for kids who never had access to cameras and equipment,
Yeah.
it was the only way we could get access to cameras and equipment.
Yeah.
So it's how we like the smallest little
Yeah.
whatever we could grab onto, we'd grab onto it and run with it.
Yep.
Just like he said, he discovered paint and he shared it with me.
Yeah.
So we would just share. There's a lot of share. I mean, in this neighborhood, there's plenty of sharing
Yeah,
going on.
everyone shares.
You know, you share resources, you share food, you share ideas. You just there's a lot of collaboration.
Growing up in Bain Town, first of all, you had to survive the neighborhood. You know, it couldn't be too soft, you couldn't be too hard. You just had to survive.
When you play this footage overseas, this is not what they think the Bahamas is.
No. I believe that Bain Town is a true representation of Bahamians, honestly. That's I won't quantify it, qualify it. That's just it.
If I was giving advice to a younger kid who's growing up in the neighborhood, is find their Sam. Because ultimately, though, these are the people who teach you everything you need to know, who help you along the way. Like, you know, if you want to know someone, just look at who they're hanging out with. And that'll give you a perfect reflection of them. So for me, like, if you're looking for like a recipe to find your creative power, it's all about your circle, who you spending time with. You'll know very quickly who you are based on who your friends are. Imagine the people who live here every day. Imagine the mother with the 4 kids, and she only want to make sure that they survive to adulthood, right? Imagine if you all feeling the fear, you all feeling. Imagine living with
People who live in that.
on a constant day-to-day basis.
Yep.
And this is why this is why creativity and storytelling is important, because it binds all of us together. By you sharing a story, it connects you with the next person, and hopefully that connection forces the people around, the people who have power, to act differently. To me, that's the point of storytelling.